Hi, this is Sam here from samnuka.com, and I want to thank you for stopping by and watching this video. In this video, we're going to discuss Namecheap for domains. Now, what actually is a domain? Why do we need it? Why Namecheap? And how do we go about getting it? So, what is a domain name? Technically, according to Google, it actually means the part of a network address which identifies it as belonging to a particular domain. But like all Google terminology, it is actually very confusing and really doesn't explain much at all. So the way I always looked at a domain is very similar to the way I look at hosting, and that is a domain is what a house is to land. So basically, without a house, you cannot have a home. So hosting is basically the actual land where it's parked, but the domain name is the actual house itself. So it's where you build your website. Hopefully that creates a little bit more clarity. Now, why do you actually need it? I mean, this one's probably pretty obvious. No domain, no website. A domain name basically allows you to actually have a website, and you need a website obviously to create an online presence. Now you could obviously use social media and so on and so forth, but there is just nothing quite like a website. I'm sure you can attest, and you've experienced it yourself, where you've actually gone to a website and been extremely impressed with the way the website is actually set up. Whereas if you go to Facebook or Instagram, you don't necessarily get a real glance at what somebody's is up to, and you really don't get a feel of professionalism on a social platform, and that's because of that particular type of marketing medium. So a website actually allows you to go ahead and do that. And also obviously it allows you to be able to do business globally, because you're going to have a website where people can purchase your services and products. So why would I actually use Namecheap? Namecheap does actually provide 24/7, 365 days a year support, just like HostGator, which, as you all know, I'm very high on. You can also register a domain for as little as $5.47 a year. I didn't realize it was actually that cheap when I looked into it last night. Other domain name providers, anywhere from $9.99 up to $14.95, which, I mean, frankly still isn't enough. But as I always allude to, when it comes to you starting your online business, you want to try and keep your costs as low as possible so that you can invest in the right tools for you to be able to maximize your dollar. So another thing you get with Namecheap that you don't necessarily get anywhere else is 1 full year of WhoisGuard privacy. This basically blocks your personal details and stop people from being able to look up who actually owns the website, and therefore kind of hounding you on a more personal level. I mean, that's not necessarily a bad thing, but I mean, people who are searching WhoisGuard for specific personal details, I don't think they're necessarily interested in purchasing your products or services. Also, simplicity in purchasing a domain. I've bought domains from a multitude of platforms, and there are some of them that make it extremely difficult. And you've probably been yourself to a shop where you've gone and all you wanted to buy was, let's say, a box of cereal. And you've gotten to the counter and the person has gone, well, would you like a piece of gum? Would you like a block of chocolate? Would you like a bottle of Coke? While all those things, it might be nice that they've actually offered, the simple fact is that all you really wanted was that box of cereal. I found the same thing with Namecheap. They do provide, one or two upsells that you can possibly buy to make your website more secure, more safe, so on and so forth. But ultimately, it comes down to just a few things. When I've bought a domain once before, where I've literally seen somewhere between 15 and 20 different options of other things to purchase on top of the actual domain itself, and it makes it confusing because you start reading the stuff that's actually on there and you don't really need all of it, right? So it's really just upsells, them trying to sell you more and more product, which I don't necessarily like. With Namecheap, you don't get that. Okay, it's actually a very simple purchasing process, which we can see here. So how do you actually go about getting it? And purchasing a domain can actually be really simple. It can obviously be very difficult and confusing as well if you use the wrong platform, which is why we're talking about Namecheap. So if you go to www.namecheap.com, there is a link below this video that you can go ahead and sign up. And if you actually need help signing up to Namecheap, all you need to do is watch the video tutorial below. And if you have any further questions, please go ahead and comment below this post or this video, depending on where you've seen it. Please like, comment, share, subscribe, friend, everything you can possibly think of under the sun, depending on what platform you're actually visiting this on. And more importantly, go ahead and tag a friend that might actually find this information useful if they're trying to start a business as well. And yes, do please share this content, and I thank you very much for stopping by this video. We'll see you in the next one.